Have you ever wondered exactly what goes on in the head of these three people? You pick an individual who's, let me just put it on the board, okay? These are three people. One, and then you have the two, then you have the three. The first person, we call them the poor person, okay? Though the word poor is actually relative, depends on who you ask. Number two, we have the middle incomers or the middle incomer okay? Person, okay? Now, then we have the rich or the wealthy, depends on how you call them. Now, the point is, I know it's arguably rich and wealthy means two different things, but let's just use that it interchangeably, meaning like it means like the same or something of sort. Okay, now, see, have you ever asked yourself what exactly goes on in the mindset of these three individuals? If you go to any given society, you always find these people. Even if you go to the poorest of the poorest of the poorest country in I was about to say in any earth. Fortunately, we only have one, okay? Now, see, if you go to any poorest country on earth, you're gonna find these three classes of the people. And that is the most astonishing thing, all right? Now, the point is this. Have you ever asked yourself what goes on in the minds of these three individuals? Because they approach life in a different way. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna post a question and a challenge to you and ask you, which mindset is yours? Again, I'm going to repeat the question. At the end of this video, I'm going to pose a question on a challenge to you and ask you, which exactly mindset is yours? And how can you change if that mindset is not appropriate or applicable or useful as far as this century that we are in is concerned? Help me to go ahead. And by the way, there is a button that I cannot be able to reach. You see, I make this video for free for you, all right? So there is a button that I cannot be able to reach by myself. You see, down below there where I have my subscribers, next to my subscribers, there is a small button. It's in black. It is written the word subscribe. If you truly can be able to reach that button, just touch that button. It disappears. Once you do that, that's what we call subscribing. By the way, it does not cost you anything. Only 1 second, and I bet you have it. And also make sure that you like the video. All right? Let's get the business now. Let's take a mind of this individual called the poor person. This is the mind of a poor person. If you give them money, there is a way they think about the cash. When I say the mind of these three individuals, I say that in respect to the cash. How do they view money? See, when you give a poor person money, what do they think? They think about, do you know what? Paying bills. They think about paying bills. To them, whenever they get the money, they actually relate to getting money to paying the bills. Making sure that at least they can run the show, they can eat, they can dress, they can pay the rent, they can pay the school fees, they can actually go ahead and at least buy something that is actually something like entertaining themselves and what have you, at least for God's sake, to make sure that they don't worry about the basic things. And these are the people we say that in the life they're actually struggling with the basic things, the food, the shelter, and the clothing. So to them, when you give them the money, what they think is about paying the bills. For example, let's say this individual, they usually make something like how much did I say? Maybe 15,000 a month or 20,000 a month. Depends on what you call poor in your country. Perhaps if you take 15 Kenyan shillings to a different country will mean a big deal. See, now, let's say they make that. And then all of a sudden, say a windfall comes in and what have you. Maybe they get like a 500,000 or sometimes let's say 1,000,000. They get that money. Guess what happens now? The moment you give them the money, they see it. They look at it from the point of, wow, I think I should migrate from where I live. I think I should go ahead and be able to do the shopping as much as I can. Wow, I need to change that carpet. Wow, I need to buy another shoes. I need to buy clothing. I need to make sure that I change my school for my children from the school. I need to do so. Most of them, they perceive money as that thing should be used to actually go ahead and pay the bills. That's what they view the cash. Now, let's go to the middle incomers people. All right, the middle incomers people, when you give them the money, guess what they think? They think like these people, but on a different level. Guess what they do? They usually think of paying the bills, paying the bills, paying the bills in time. All right. Why? They don't want these hustles and bustles because they know how it's to be poor. Probably this guy has actually come from this particular area, and they know they were struggling to pay the bills. They were struggling to pay the rent, to eat, the food, the entertainment. Obviously, the language of entertainment does not even exist with the mindset of the poor people because they do not have the capacity to do exactly that. Now, you find these people whenever they get the money, they go ahead and do what? They pay the bills. And let me tell you one secret. This is the greatest point where the wealth transfers. Guess what? The wealthy and the rich people, they make their money from these people. I repeat, see, these middle incomers, these wealthy and rich people, they make money from these people. And I'm telling you, these are the guys who run the government. These are the guys who run the economy. Because if there is somewhere where we have the consumer mindset, this is where we have the consumer mindset. Whenever you start your club, whenever you start your bar, the moment you start your restaurant, the moment you start your car business, the car hiring business, the moment you start importing good cars, the moment you start talking about good clothing, the moment you start talking about the lifestyle, having fun and everything, these are the people that are targeted. Even when you talk about the taxes, and by the way, go to any country, you actually hear these people complaining a lot about the taxes. Yes, this one may complain because now their purchasing power has actually been reduced, but this one they complain because they're the one who's are actually deducted directly. These are the people who deductions of the money happens directly. These are the people, for example, in Kenya, there is issues of about the affordable housing where everyone, if you're employed, you have to contribute. I think it's 1.5% or 3%, if I'm not wrong. Then we have upcoming a financial bill or finance bill that we talk about. You know, your car, you have to pay, 2.5% of your car at the end of the 2%, 2.5% the value of your car at the end of the year. So if your car is worth $1 million, Bob, then you have to pay at least 25,000 towards that car. And then there is a capping of 100,000. That is the maximum you can pay. So you can imagine someone who is driving a Toyota Fielder worth maybe, let's say, 2 million or 1 point something million. The guy is paying like 50,000. The guy who is driving a 32 million car is paying 100,000. To me, it's not fair, because that's like 10 fielders, or I don't know, whatever the number of fielders it is. But anyway, I'm not going to go that direction. But the point is, you can actually realize that taxes are actually affecting more of these people who are in this middle income. And because, in case maybe you're wondering, who are these middle incomes? You're classified in Kenya, you're classified if you earn 48,000 all the way to, I think, 250K or something, thereabout, 250, 48,000 here. This is like $480,000, or let's say $450 a month, all the way to something like $2,000 or $2,200 or thereabout. You are classified as a middle incomers. So whoever earns below 48,000, they're actually classified as poor. It's not me, it's according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics and what have you. Now, see, these people, they actually struggle the best to make sure that at least they maintain their lifestyle. If they want to get the recliner, they want to have on the weekend, they're actually hanging around with their friends, the Subaru guys, they make sure that they have fun, they enjoy. It's all about fun, and everything, okay? The language of savings, the language of investments, it actually resonates with some few of them in this category. Some of them will actually buy the idea of savings, but majority of them, you realize that it's just about fun. It's about proving to people that they're making cash and what have you. Still, they have the consumer mindset and they perceive money as a product to be consumed. Now, we go to our guys on the far end. That was the third point. And by the way, listen, I talked about the mindset. You see, you can actually have a mindset of a wealthy individual, but you're poor. And that will actually help you to actually propel you to the next level. But before I do that, let me just explain to you how the rich perceive the money. For these guys, how they perceive money the moment you give them cash, in the moment they earn money, or the moment they get paid or something of sort. The very first thing they know about that cash, it is not a product to be consumed, but rather a tool to be used to make more money out of that money. And that's why I was giving an example, and that's why I always give an example of money love to make babies. And if money love to make babies, then they know the concept very well. They know where to take the money to a maternity, where they impregnate the money, to make sure that they nurture the money. They give them the netting environment that the money can actually go ahead, give birth. They differentiate the primary money or the mama money or the baby or the parent money from what we call the baby's money. So they know what to consume, they know what to eat and what not to eat. They know what to keep and what to discuss. Now, whatever. The point is, these guys, they know very well everything the moment they get. For example, if you give a middle incomer money, all right, they may try to buy the concept of savings. They may try to save as little as they can, just to make sure that they have ticked that box of saving level. Like, people talk about savings and what if you have $1 million, Bob, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save this 100,000. At least I'm safe and secure. So even if I use the other 900, so I'm good to go. So that's what exactly they do. They do it not because they are really, so much intrigued into creating the wealth, but they're just doing so to make sure that at least that box is ticked and they can actually justify themselves why they should consume the other money or the rest of the cash. But this one, they actually view from the point of, hey, how can I even then eat almost nothing, or maybe if I have to eat then at least 100,000 from that a million bob, I take my 900, put it somewhere, because even if I start eating now, it ain't gonna take me for a long period of time. But if I take this a million bob, put it just in a money market fund, put it in a bill or something of sort. Say I put it in a bill that is giving me 16%, or that would be like 14.5%. That's like 145,000 a year. Then it means, wow, that money is enough to pay for my car insurance. Probably that money can actually fuel my car, or maybe if not all those the kind of things, at the end of the year I can actually take my family for a vacation somewhere, and that vacation I'm gonna actually intertwine it with me looking for the opportunities, because the wealthy people, they're always looking for the opportunities. You go for a vacation, they're looking for opportunities. As much as they're enjoying, their eyes and ears are always open to learn and actually be able to do something, because never forget this point: the more you learn, the more you earn. The more you cease learning, the more you cease earning. That is the point. So the point is, they perceive money as a product to be actually, they perceive money as a tool to be used to make more of it, not a product to be consumed. Now, see, you can actually have that mindset when you're here. Now, how do you get yourself from here to here, then from here to here? See, if you're from here, when you're poor, it means that you do not have a lot of disposable income. When you do not have the disposable income, then it means that you have to try as much as you can, as much as you want to pay the bills, as much as you want to do the thing. I usually say this: no matter how much you earn, whether you regard it as much or more or less or whichever, it's actually the language of saving and salvaging some cash for the purposes of the future growth that can actually propagate you, and that is the must thing that you're supposed to do. So if you're here, you make sure that at least as much as you're paying these bills, change, first of all, the first thing that you change when you're here, it's the mindset. You change the mindset. It is true, money gotten should be used to pay the bills. That is true. That cuts across, because everyone has to pay the bills, whether you're rich, you're poor, you're the middle income. But you're supposed to understand one thing. Yeah, I do not have much. Maybe I can only save 1,000 bob at the end of the year, or rather at the end of the month, but that is the only money that I have. It is far much better putting that money aside into a saving that is giving you something, compared to you not doing it at all. Probably if I tell you, put that amount of money continually in a savings, or rather in an investment for the next 5, 10 years, or even 20 years, you'll be like, 20 years, it is a long time this is a long time from now. The fact remains, the 20 years will pass, whether you do it or you don't do it. So it's you to pick. What do I do? Do I actually embark on doing that specific thing? You know, by the way, there was a time actually when I graduated, I was asking myself, yeah, I do not have a job. Yeah, I do have the degree, but I do not have a job. Now, what do I do? Do I pick that what is available as of now, I push myself along, or should I actually sit somewhere and complain at all the time? Sometimes we make a decision and say, hey, you know what? Yes, I'm not getting what I want, but I'm going to do something and I'm going to push it. There was a time I was making these videos on my YouTube. Nobody was paying me. I wasn't even getting any views at all, maybe sometimes 2 or 3 or whatever. And I was like, let me just continue. I never know how it will happen. I mean, after all, it does not cost me a lot. It's just me standing before a camera, recording a video and posting out there. Something, maybe it can actually change somebody out there. It can transform and change someone's life. So I continually did that thing until where I am, and I'm still pushing that specific thing. The point is, the more lives you change, the more cash you'll make. That's for sure, because people are ready to pay you. They throw money at you. And that's the thing that we were never taught. That's a reality and that's a fact. So the moment you're here, even if you're saving as low as you can, keep on pumping that cash towards that specific area, and that will actually earn you a lot. And then you push that money to the next level. That will actually propagate you. The moment the moment you have that savings, you're supposed to think about, I'm having that cash. Now, what do I do? Either you take that money to add value skill. The more that's what I'm saying, the more you learn, the more you earn. What does it mean? For example, let's say here you're just a sub technician. You're not really a technician. I'm actually looking for a better word to describe you. Like, you do not have the full skills to actually do something. Now you can get those savings and roll to getting the skills. Maybe a plumbing electrician or mason, or you can be able to be a mechanic or whatever the thing it is. For God's sake, just add the skills. So the moment you add the skills, target these people. Yeah, these are the people you target. These are the people who are ready to consume the cash. The moment you get the skills, target these people, relate with them, talk with them. And by the way, do not outshine their masters. The moment you reach this category, then make these people your friends. All right? Because if you are here and you're smart, you'll be able to know this one are taking advantage of this. And this is where everyone can actually make money. Whether you're poor, you can make money from these guys. Whether you're wealthy, you can make money from these guys. These are like the teats of a lactating animal. These are like the teats of people, or an animal that is actually so much good at having the milk. So if you're smart, you can make money from this. And if you're smart and you're here, you can as well snatch yourself from this, and be careful to not go back to these people. Make sure that at least you push along to the next level. Again, when you're in this category, make sure that at least you do not have the ego, be ready to learn, and that way you can propagate yourself to the next level. So that is the mindset of the three classes of the people in any given country. Allow me not to continue beyond that particular point. Allow me to let you digest this information. And if you're actually finding value of this information, leave your comment on the comment section. I'll be so much delighted to respond to your question. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, go ahead and grab that number fine from the description of this specific video. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.